We recently received some huge reveals revolving around Leia and a new canon Star Wars novel known as Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt. The news we got is actually really intriguing, and we received it in the form of an excerpt from the book. I cannot read the whole piece here, but I do recommend you go check it out in the link down below, and then we will discuss it further here. Basically, we learn the book takes place just mere months after the Battle of Endor, and Leia is pregnant with who we know as Kylo Ren. And currently, Han is missing. Han went out to help Chewbacca liberate Kashyyyk, and now he's nowhere to be found, and Leia is very worried. The piece revolves all around Leia, who has departed into her room after a seemingly very harsh conversation revolving around the New Republic and the remnants of the Empire and what to do concerning them. Yes, the Battle of Jakku has not yet occurred and the Empire is still around at this point. Luke has also vanished, which is interesting and shows his departure leading up to The Force Awakens was not a first-time thing. Leia overall is feeling alone. She has no idea where Han is and is wishing that Luke was there to help her sort things out. Leia does however mention that Luke has trained her in some ways in the Force, and how to feel it, among other things, which are not gone into detail here. Leia in the piece is attempting to connect with the plant the Ewoks gave her before she left Endor, and is attempting to feel the Force through it. Leia even mentions this is something she does daily. Leia becomes frustrated, feeling as though she will never be able to feel the plant, and that the Force is something she is not gifted with. Her mind drifts to Luke's words though, and when she sensed him on Cloud City, knowing where he was, and saving him. Then Leia suddenly feels something. Through her body she feels the Force, her mind drifting to her father and his potential. Leia feels the plant, and also the baby within her, but it's not a physical feeling, it's a spiritual one. Leia actually connects with the young child within her, sensing it's a boy, and sensing his powerful mind and strength in the Force. She feels that in this moment, this is the culmination of all that Luke has taught her about the light, and enjoying serenity and pure bliss for only a second. But this feeling is swiftly replaced with something dark and terrible, and Leia is overcome with a sense of dread for herself and her unborn child. Leia becomes worried of what it would be like for a child to grow up in a galaxy so divided, and what potentially horrible things this child could end up enduring. So that is pretty much the gist of the excerpt that we got. So far, it's really cool, and this now confirms Leia underwent some basic training as a Jedi under Luke. So a few questions are raised by this piece as well, such as what other things did Luke teach Leia that she mentions, and also what are the details of the darkness Leia feels. Is Leia feeling the dark within her unborn child and the anger that will occupy his life, similarly to the way Master Yoda sensed the dangers of Anakin in The Phantom Menace? Or could she be sensing something else, beyond herself, looming over and watching as the birth of another Skywalker is a very important event in the galaxy, and several very interested parties may be looking out for such an occurrence? Could Leia have briefly encountered Snoke through the Force, already reaching out to corrupt Ben, or is it something else entirely? Another important thing is, where is Luke, and what is he up to, and why is he departed yet again? It is my theory that at this point, Luke is out fighting the larger war against the Empire still, because at this point in time, the war is not yet won in its entirety, despite the destruction of the second Death Star. Luke's presence in the first Aftermath book is never explicit, but there is a character who is likely Luke referred to simply as the Rebel. In the book, a group of boys arrive at an Imperial training center to begin with their training as stormtroopers, in hopes of fighting for something greater than themselves. When they arrive, they find the academy has been destroyed, and Rebel soldiers are outside, along with a specific man simply known as the Rebel. When the boys ask the Rebel if he killed the children in the academy, he responds no, of course not, and prompts them to go home. This, along with Luke and Shattered Empire still going on missions, leads me to believe he is likely off still fighting against the tyranny of the Empire and left Leia to deal with the Rising Republic. So now we have the big question, why didn't Leia ever complete her training? Well, the answer is very simple. In Bloodline, it is somewhat discussed, and said she found she could do more good for the galaxy as a member of the Senate rather than a Jedi Knight. Leia was somewhat inspired by her mother as well, learning more about her and prompting her to continue her work with the New Republic. Luke likely departed after the Battle of Jakku, and Leia remained to rebuild what their father had destroyed. It all really boils down to how they feel in their hearts. Leia is shown here to be somewhat struggling with what little training she has had, but on the other hand is an excellent politician. This is not to say that Leia wouldn't have become a great Jedi. I certainly believe she would, just that that's not the ultimate choice she made, and I believe she may have even been somewhat intimidated by the prospects of becoming a Jedi Knight. There have been rumors about Episode 8 that Leia will be using the Force to save her own life following an attack by the First Order, and some of Luke's training may come in handy here. This is also likely why they are introducing her training here, and it will serve to supplement her using the Force in Episode 8, but we will have to wait and see on that account. So tell me how you feel about this. Are you satisfied that to some extent Leia did undergo some training and simply chose a different path for herself, or would you have preferred something else? Also, is there some greater significance to the darkness Leia felt, or was this just a feeling of intimidation for the future? And finally, where is Luke, and what do you think he's up to at this point in time? Thank you so much for watching as always, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.